Hi. Taehyung Lovers, welcome back to the Taehyung Lovers channel all around the world. And this time, don't you dare skip the first 3 seconds. Because what you're about to see is not just an ordinary moment in Tokyo. This is a slice of reality that quietly makes many people flinch. How is it possible that a global superstar like Kim Taehyung actually looks the most real when he is not being part of BTS? This is not fan service content. This is not agency setup. This is a side that is rarely seen, and precisely the most honest one. And what's even more surprising in this moment is not about luxury, but about something far more valuable than that. In April 2026, amid the hustle and bustle of Tokyo, a simple meeting suddenly became a mirror that left many people silent, even questioning their own lives. Not because of the place, not because of who was there, but because of a kind of honesty that was too real to ignore. At a time when the global entertainment industry keeps moving without pause, full of pressure, full of image making, one story instead emerged without a sound yet hit harder than any scandal. The friendship of Kim Taehyung with the Wooga Squad. Imagine there's no big cameras, no script, no perfect lighting, just a restaurant kitchen, the sound of cooking utensils, and a Kim Taehyung smiling freely, a smile not made for the world. Around him are Park Seo-joon, Choi Woo-shik, Park Hyung-sik, and Peakboy people who remain, even when the cameras are off. And at that point, without realizing it, a question appears that feels uncomfortable. Why does the most honest happiness happen when the world is not watching? In this video, we'll discuss facts that are rarely talked about. How the Wooga Squad is not just an ordinary K-pop friendship circle, but a safe place that is even stronger than popularity itself. Why the simple moment in Tokyo feels bigger than any concert. How global pressure as an idol can collapse in just one right space. And most surprisingly, why this story quietly makes many people feel jealous, even if they don't admit it. So before we go deeper, make sure you hit like, write your comments because your opinion matters here, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And if you feel this is not just content, but something the world needs to see, don't forget to make it go viral. Because sometimes in a world full of noise, we need one honest story to remind us. Kindness and sincerity like Kim Taehyung are real. In April 2026, amid the hustle and bustle of Tokyo, a simple meeting suddenly became a mirror that made many people fall silent, even question their own lives, not because of its luxury, but because of its honesty. In the glittering global entertainment industry that never gives a pause, one story stands still, calm, not forcing itself to be seen, yet holding a power that slowly strikes anyone who notices it. The friendship of Kim Taehyung with the Wooga Squad. This is not a viral story made for trending, nor a narrative built for promotional purposes. This is something far rarer. A bond that remains when everything changes, when the world becomes faster, harsher, and filled with hidden interests. Tokyo 2026 may look like an ordinary dinner. There's no grand stage, no big cameras capturing every movement, no script controlling how they should smile. Yet, that is exactly where the honesty lies. Because when the world stops watching, what remains is who we truly are. In a busy restaurant kitchen, the sound of utensils colliding, the aroma of food filling the air, and in the middle of it all, Kim Taehyung stands in front of warm dishes with a smile that feels completely free. Not a smile trained for cameras, not an expression shaped by public expectations, but a smile that only appears when someone feels truly safe. And at that point, many people begin to feel uncomfortable, because without realizing it, that simple moment feels like a subtle slap. How many of us truly have a space to be ourselves without fear of losing anyone? There are no fans screaming, no schedule pressure, no demands for perfection. What exists is laughter that bursts naturally, conversations that flow without burden, and warmth that feels sincere. Around him are not just anyone, but those who walked with him long before the world knew him. Park Seo-joon, Choi Woo-shik, Park Hyung-sik, and Peakboy. As the night goes on, the atmosphere shifts. Neon lights reflect on the walls, creating a modern tone that contrasts with the warmth they create. But one thing never changes. The presence of the same people by Kim Taehyung's side. In that space. He does not need to be a global symbol, does not need to carry the identity of being part of BTS. He can simply be Kim Taehyung. Someone who laughs, talks, and lives without the pressure to be perfect. And perhaps That is where true luxury lies, not in what we own, but in who chooses to stay. This moment feels like opening an old archive. Memory is never designed for public consumption, yet the most real. The same pattern keeps appearing, an unforced closeness. In one moment, they lie down together, laughing without any clear reason. In another moment, they stand in front of Hanam Tatsu, smiling like a group of old friends who would never change, even as the world around them keeps moving forward without pause. The Wooga Squad is not just a circle of celebrity friends. Their name comes from a simple Korean question, "Uri jiga jakinka?" which means, "Are we family?" But what makes them different is that they never answer with words. They answer it with consistent presence, with a choice to stay together, even when no cameras are recording. In an industry often filled with temporary relationships and momentary interests, a bond like this becomes something almost rare, perhaps even hard to believe. Their presence in Tokyo is not a coincidence. Amid packed global schedules, amid the pressure and expectations placed on Kim Taehyung as part of BTS, they still came, not out of obligation, not for publicity, but because they chose to be there. They chose to support, chose to stay. And in a world full of reasons to leave, that choice becomes something deeply meaningful. In the end, this story is not about Tokyo, not about the restaurant, and not about a viral moment. It is about something far deeper, about who remains by our side when the world stops watching, about relationships that do not change even when everything else does. And perhaps, without realizing it, this story touches something most fundamental in us as humans, the need to have a place to return to. Because in the end, life is not about how high we stand in front of the world, but about who continues to stand beside us when all the spotlight fades. And for Kim Taehyung, the answer has never changed. The Wooga Squad is not just friends. They are home. And at this point, maybe you're starting to realize why that simple moment in Tokyo feels bigger than just an ordinary meeting. Because behind all the glitter of the world, Kim Taehyung reveals something truly rare. Unfiltered sincerity, with the Wooga Squad who remain without conditions. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. But if you don't like it, feel free to skip, because the Taehyung Lovers channel never forces anyone. However, one thing you should think about before you leave, how many of us truly have a home like that? What do you think? Is this kind of friendship still real in today's world? Write your thoughts in the comments, because this discussion doesn't stop here. Hard news hook. What happened in Tokyo is not the end of the story. This is just the beginning of something bigger that has not yet been fully revealed to the public. Stay tuned for the next updates only on Taehyung Lovers. Thank you and see you again. That concludes our meeting. Good night, stay safe, and see you next time. Keep following updates about Kim Taehyung only on the Taehyung Lovers channel.